Today on the channel, all is quiet on the Western Front with the Trench Viper and Cobra Modular Fortification.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, back again with another G.I. Joe Classified series unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got the latest and greatest from the Classified line with, of course, the Trench Viper. It's hard for me to remember this, the Cobra Modular Fortification. But for all your G.I. Joe Classified series needs, make sure you're hitting up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15%. Got to get a deal out there, of course. However, this one came via Hasbro Pulse, and if I'm not mistaken, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So if you're after it, that's where you're going to have to go. Wouldn't be shocked to see this restock a few times as well, and I wouldn't be shocked to see us do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. And this is an interesting, I guess we'll call it a grandma vehicle, or more like a grandma play set in this instance here, as we do get a Trench Viper here, easy repaint. Of course, the Alley Viper, we'll never forget that one. We'll do some comparisons later on. But we get a little bit of a mini base, we'll call it that. And we've seen this, of course, in the back in the day from the G.I. Joe brand, and we're going to see it again, and we're going to see this repainted and re-released. We know how it goes by now. And it's an interesting set here. I don't know if it gets me absolutely excited. I love a good trench warfare just as much as the next guy. Todd, what was that book I used to have to read back in elementary? Oh, yes. All is Quiet on the Western Front. About trench warfare. You get your wet feet and you get all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy in that trench warfare. And I remember reading that book when I was a kid. Couldn't really tell you a whole lot what it was about outside of being about the war. It was at World War I once upon a time. Never forget those World War I soldiers. My challenge to each and every single one of you is, if you're out at the grocery store this weekend or something, and you see a World War I vet, check and see how they're still alive, because that was a long time ago. And I think all World War I vets are long dead at this point. World War II hanging on, Grandpa. I see you. I see you, Grandpa, out there. Shout out to all the armed forces, of course, all over the place. But shout out to this set here. We're going to dive into it, and we'll see what all the fuss is about. And is there fuss? I guess there's always a little bit of fuss here, especially when you're talking Trench Vipers, of course. Cool artwork on the front here, G.I. Joe Classified Series, or I guess picture taken, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. The figure itself, Cobra logo, ooh, the enemy, of course. Trench Viper and Cobra Modular Fortification, never going to remember that. I'm never going to remember it. We got all kinds of stuff going on in the background there, all kinds of war. It's just a Cobra at war, what they do best, of course. Got that knife, he's going to skin somebody maybe along the way. Number 151 in the line so far. As usual, not a fan of labeling this with the regular line. Should be labeled separate, or not labeled if you ask me. And then on the back right there, you got the build out of what you get right here. And the cool thing about this one is you can do whatever you want with this. You can build it in different ways. If you want to buy multiples of this set, you can build out a little bit more of a base if you want to. I don't think I'm into that. I don't know if I have the room for a ton of these, nor do I want a ton of these, especially at this price. Now, if they were cheaper, they were on deal, a super stupid deal or something, maybe I'd buy some extras. But for this price, I think I'm just going to be fine with just one. Be interested to hear if you're buying multiples. I know people out there buying 6 of these. I just don't know. If Joe's was my only collection, maybe I would do that. But I collect a lot of things. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. Todd, did you know that? Yeah, most people know that. I'm not going to buy very many of these. Maybe one more. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But that's the back. I don't think there's any readout or anything going on back here. Is what it is what it is right there. And there it is, packaging. Oh my gosh, we got the locker. There it is. See you later, shuffle off to the side. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We got the figure, plastic prison, a little Trench Viper. Wasn't Trench in Naughty by Nature? Wasn't he in that? I think he was in Oz too, and I spent some time in Oz. I think we just were ships passing in the night, if I'm not mistaken. But we got that going on. Got the rest of that. Gonna have to dial all that out. Trench Viper, Cobra Modular Fortification going on. We got instructions. We got all kinds of stuff here. See you later. Spider-Man style. See you later, goodbye. And then, of course, like I said, we got the instructions right here. Help us put this thing together because it looks challenging. It's challenging right there. We got baggies. We got all kinds of stuff going on, but I'm going to take this offline, get everything out of the package, and we'll be back with the old Trench Viper and Modular Fortification. I told you I wouldn't remember. We'll be right back. All right, let's get down to the Trench Viper and the Fortification unit. How about? We're going to start with the Trench Viper first. Why wouldn't we? We've seen this before. Of course, the classic Alley Viper, one of the most famous Vipers of all time. Getting a rerun here, a little bit of a repaint action. Of course, you get that shield. Got a little of that urban camo on it as well. Like a young Dudley Boys back in the WWF back in the day. You do get the handle in here. You even got a little bit of readout. A very iconic shield, of course, looking very good. And then he was showing them off on the package. Why wouldn't we show them off in person here? 2 knives ready to go. He's ready to butter some toast and maybe slit your throat. Who knows what he's up to here, but silver blade, black on the handle, 2 knives right there. He does got a little pistol when things go south, when the Joes get inside here, when Flint leads his team, maybe the Tiger Force, they come in here. He's got no choice but to pull out the pistol and probably shoot himself. That's probably what he's got to do because there's no escaping Flint. You're either going to be caught or you're going to be killed. And he said, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to do it myself. That's what he says, but you got the little pistol going on there. And then we got this one. I still don't know what technically this is called here, but it looks like a little gun. Is it a stun gun? Maybe, but we do have this. We've seen this before in the classified line. But now down to the Trench Viper right here. He's in the trenches. He's ready to go. And once again, we got that urban camo all over there. It's like an urban cowboy, but totally different. Totally not the same thing, in all honesty there. But you do got that visor up front that goes right down, of course. Got a little target on it. Got the Cobra logo on the mask. Got the big red mask underneath, and he's got some devilish eyes behind there. That's a guy that's seen some things, some dark things along the way. But looking good. It is the classic Alley Viper head in more of a dark blue, blackish color. Got the big vest over the top, ready to go, of course. Got the holster for a little knife right there. And then you got the other holster on the knife on the arms. Got the long outfit here, of course, the long shirt, the long pants ready to go. Got the black boots, got the black gloves going on. Seen this body numerous times as well. Got some carabiners down here. I heard, now Todd Farley, correct me if I'm wrong, he stole those from Alpine, of course, off a mountain, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard Alpine took a fall just recently. Is that what you said a couple weeks ago? Made Hank Jr.'s fall back in the 70s look like child's play. So we're rooting for you, Alpine. We're rooting for you. It's like the invasion of Nemesis Enforcer when they were trying to bust him out. Of course, Duke and Flint, we all remember that. That was one of the top reasons why Duke is not a true leader, as we do know. Because the Dreadnoks and, of course, Pythona, they got in there with Serpentor leading the charge. There's a true leader. Say what you want about him, Serpentor. He's not scared to do the tough tasks. Go in there, and they busted out, of course, Nemesis Enforcer. And it was all Falcon's fault. And who put Falcon on the watch? Of course, it was Duke. That no good evil Duke. And we almost lost Alpine and Bazooka that night and Gung Ho. Can you imagine if we would have lost those 3 Joes? And yes, we did lose Bazooka many years later. And once again, Duke's fault. So, Duke, what are we doing? Get out of here. Serpentor, a better leader than Duke. We all know that. And Flint, a shoe-in, of course. But back to the figure right here, looking good. You got the protection on the shoulders there. It does say Sentry right over here. Cobra logo on the other side, looking good. Holster for the gun. Always nice to be able to store the stuff on the figure, of course. Got the backpack going on. Of course, no backpack with this guy here. Arms all the way around for us. A little bit of butterfly. Nothing really to get too excited about. Bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows. You know those are the hits I like. Trigger hand right here, back and forth, side to side. Head back and forth, side to side. Neck back and forth, side to side. And yeah, you're right. That's what happened to Alpine in his neck when he took that nasty fall. And I think Duke was involved in that fall as well. I think he might have cut the cord. Who knows? We're going to find out the answers on that. Ab crunch, you don't really have it because of that big vest over the top. Drop down hips, legs go up. Thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, playing all the hits, boot cut, ankles, back, forth, side to side, up and down, the usual articulation, ready to go. Dare I say ready to party. That's what we're ready to go with right there. Looking pretty good. But all in all, it is a Viper we've seen in the past. It's the Trench Viper, formerly the Alley Viper, of course, as we know. And he does fit on a ringside collectible stand. Using discount code Kyle to save 10% over at ringside. But we did get the classic Alley Viper, and we did get the Crimson Alley Viper once upon a time. So we've been Vipering for quite some time here. Makes sense to get the most out of your molds. And this is, I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, anybody, maybe you in the comments. Have we ever got the Trench Viper before? I don't remember that one. I definitely don't remember it, but maybe we did somewhere. Maybe it was in the Pursuit of Cobra line or something like that. Maybe I missed it, but cool to get this one. Obviously makes a lot of sense. You get a little repaint there, get the most out of your molds. We know how it goes from there. But now we're diving into this whole system, this whole base camp, this whole base of operations. It's modular, so we can extend it. We can do a lot of stuff with it, but let's dive into it. Let's start it off. Let's start with these sandbags here. Reminds me of the floods of 93, Todd McFarlane. Oh, I was a little boy once upon a time in 1993. Never forget. But there was flooding in 93 in the Midwest, and it was tough times. Luckily, my dad's house, we were on the high ground, so we didn't have any problems. We weren't flooded or anything like that. But many a school-age friend, their houses were flooded, all that kind of stuff. It was wild times in the floods of 93. And I remember my baseball season, my all-star season, and my AAU season for baseball was pretty much all but canceled that summer. The playgrounds, everything underwater. It was a tough year, that floods of 93. So never forget, but whenever I think of sandbags, I think back to the floods of 93. Shout out to the floods of 93 for sure. But you got sandbags here, of course, ready to stop the water from coming in your house or ready to stop a bullet or two when you're Cobra and you're trying to defend your little outpost here. But a cool accessory and one of those great accessories I could see people using with different toy lines. There's no doubt about it. So cool to see that right there. Now we do get 2 ladders here. Now we do get little connectors, so you can make the ladder taller if that is your thing. Now, once again, this is a modular play set. So you buy 4, 5, 6, 177 of these. You can put them all together. You can put them side by side. You can stack them. You can build a whole wall, a whole fortress. The world is your oyster as far as that, what you want to take these. You can flip the walls out, all kinds of things. So if you want a double stacked ladder, you can do that. You want a single ladder with a ladder on each side, you could do that as well. So you choose your own ladder adventure right there. And I should mention all these extra pieces right here, the connectors, it helps you connect these when you're adding extra walls and things. So you might need to use these, you might not. For me, for now at least, they're going into a baggie, but you got the options with this thing. Now, of course, speaking of options, you got the big gun turret. Is that what this is? Is this Roblox gun from back in the day? It does say Cobra on it. My guess is Duke, of course, being the leader he is, said, I can make some cash on the side, you know? I'm going to put this on and I'm going to put the Cobra logo on. I'm going to sell some arms to Cobra. He's like a young Oliver North. Isn't that what Oliver North did back in the day? I remember that was a whole fiasco. I was like 6 years old, so I don't know how the whole thing went down, but I'm pretty sure, somebody fact check it once again, Duke selling G.I. Joe weapons to Cobra. Oh, dangerous. That Duke. But you do got the big weapon right here. Of course, you got all the bullets to go through there if need be, ready to go. And you're ready to start blasting however you want to. And you do got the base here looking very nice. So very cool. And you do get a second base here. Now you can use it for whatever you want. You can pop one of these off and put it on here as well. So you got options with this. This is a fun one. You can get as creative as you want to with this playset, as we're seeing here as we go through it. But now we're diving into the box here, and it does look like a porta potty is what it looks like. Looks like something you go to the state fair, and I was just recently at my state fair, and there's porta potties on every corner, and you're ready to go with one of these is what it looks like to me. But you do get the blue walls around here. Once again, it's modular, so you can connect it, not connect it, add it. You do got a roof, you do got a floor. You got to make sure the right one plugs in. It plugs and plays very easily. There is instructions if you need it. But you got to make sure the top is the top, the bottom is the bottom. You'll figure it out. You'll see where it goes. Same thing with the connector pieces. It's pretty good and easy to figure out. But it looks good. It's all in blue. And we got something similar to this back in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, once upon a time. But you got some dings and some dents in this. It's been shot at a time or two. You got the spotlight up here on the top. You can articulate that around. You do got a little antenna right there, so you can get a note in there. It's probably a little note you'll get from Duke saying, hey guys, Tiger Force is coming. They're coming. Just letting you guys know. Hide those weapons I sold you. Duke, what are we doing? But we probably got some of that going on. But it is cool to get the antenna, and you can move some things around, change some things around. Once again, get creative. It's modular. Do whatever you want. For me, though, like I said, I'm probably sticking with the porta potty look here. Big Cobra logo on the side. On the inside, it's a little bit dark, a little bit dingy, I would say. A little bit hard to get inside there. I'm going to display this just probably like this. I will put the weapon here, and you do got some posts inside here, so you can stick these in, and you can make sure they stay put, so it does peg in there. And you can put that weapon there, so you can turn it back and forth, shooting and firing at everybody if you want to. Once again, you got some options there. But I'll probably just have this here. Maybe I'll put the Viper inside, and that's it. It'll be a corner of my display. have it go like something like that. We'll see where it ends up going. Now, there is a little bit, it almost looks like a ladder on the inside, but it is a weapon rack, so you can store some weapons in here if you want to. So you got options there. But for the most part, it's just 4 pieces of plastic, or 5, I guess, more like it, with a roof, a floor, and the walls. And you get to choose from there what you want to do. And as I said earlier, a lot of people buying multiples of these, building out a wall, building them out up top, doing whatever you want, choosing your own adventure, dare I say that there. But you got plenty of options with this one here, and you can stick guys on the top, stick them wherever they need to be. I can just imagine myself as a little kid playing with this. There'd be guys up there, they'd get shot, and they'd take the header off the top. There'd be all kinds of shenanigans going on. So fun if you're building out a diorama, a display, but if you're like me, just displaying your Joes, this might be a little much. And the Joes, it's getting tougher and tougher with all these vehicles, all these HasLabs, finding a big display spot. And now for me, I got 3 big Billy bookcases to display stuff. Well, guess what? The Dragonfly and the Rattler are not going to fit in there so well. This will fit on the shelf, thankfully, but I'm going to have to get creative, going to have to display some guys, use this as a bit of a base and a stand, maybe put a couple of guys displayed on top of here. That's what I'm going to have to do for my collection, but you got to choose your own collection adventure, and we do know we got a G.I. Joe version of this one. It makes all the sense coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. If I'm not mistaken, I think they announced that at San Diego Comic-Con, if I'm not mistaken, but it makes sense. You got to get the most out of your molds, and nothing is a one and done, seemingly anymore. And we'll see more of this in the future. But there it is. What's your guys' thoughts on this one? Did you pick it up from Hasbro Pulse? Is it on your want list? And I'd be very interested to see how many of you are buying multiples. And I'd love to hear. Somebody's going to come in the comments, I bought 20 of them. More power to you for sure. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the old Trench Viper while you're at it. Once again, in the comments. So there it is. What do you guys think? Let me know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my other YouTube channel. Check out my podcast every single Tuesday. It is The Kyle Peterson Show. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more on there. You never know. But The Kyle Peterson Show every Tuesday, where podcasts are found. Video cast on YouTube. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships for even more content. SirPaul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. Instagram, TikTok. And of course, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is the email address if you need to send me something or reach out to me for sure. So for once again, another classified modular fortification Trench Viper apparatus shenanigans aplenty. Let me... Sure, why not? Is that good? What is it? The fortification, modular fortification? Is that what it's called? With Trench Viper? We'll go with that. So for the Trench Viper modular fortification, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
We're going to the end of the line.